Everything we thought we knew about Blood of My Blood is about to change forever. Season 2 isn't just another chapter, it's a complete transformation. Love will be tested, loyalties will be shattered, and destiny itself will be rewritten. The calm before the storm is over, and now every secret from the past and future is colliding in ways no one could have imagined. The second season of Blood of My Blood picks up, right where the chaos left us, with Brian and Ellen on the run, carrying both love and guilt on their shoulders. The Jacobite uprising of 1715 looms large, and its fiery shadow stretches over everything. Brian knows there's no escaping what's coming. He's caught between two worlds, his duty as a Fraser and his heart's devotion to Ellen. But as the fiery crosses burn across the highlands, a darker fire is ignited within him. The man who once fought only for love will now be forced to fight for survival, honor, and vengeance. Ellen, however, is not the same gentle woman we met before. She's changed, hardened, sharpened by betrayal and loss. She knows what it means to lose everything, and she refuses to let anyone control her again. For the first time, she's not just Brian's beloved. She's his equal in courage and fury. Together, they stand on the edge of history, but the winds of rebellion are ruthless. As clans prepare for war, old alliances fracture, and new betrayals are born in whispers. Word spreads fast that Malcolm Grant is dead, and though no one knows the full truth, the Grants are hungry for blood. The fragile peace that once held the clans together is crumbling, and deep down, Brian knows that it's his actions that set the spark. Every road now leads to battle, and every battle will demand a price. Meanwhile, in the present timeline, Julia is haunted by the loss of Henry. That one moment at the Stones changed everything. One heartbeat of hesitation, and they were torn apart by time itself. Julia and baby William crossed into the past, but Henry was left behind. For Julia, the 18th century is no longer a mystery. It's a prison of heartbreak and longing. She can feel Henry's absence like a ghost following her every step. And yet there's something else too, a pull, a strange connection, as if time itself is trying to guide her toward him. Claire recognizes that feeling immediately. She's lived it, she's fought against it, and she knows it never ends well. But she also knows the courage it takes to defy time for love. So, when Julia reveals her plan to go back, to find Henry and bring him home, Claire doesn't stop her. Instead, she makes a decision that will shock fans everywhere. She's going with her. The idea of young Claire traveling through time again brings everything full circle, a haunting reflection of her mother's legacy. Back in the past, Henry awakens to a nightmare. Confused, cold, and surrounded by the chaos of the Jacobite rebellion, he realizes that he's been thrown into a world of war, deceit, and danger, a world that mirrors the battlefield trauma he thought he left behind after World War I. The clash of musket fire and the cries of dying soldiers bring back every memory he's tried to bury. But something in him refuses to break this time. Maybe it's love. Maybe it's fate. Whatever it is, Henry vows to survive long enough to find his family again. As the rebellion grows, the fates of Brian, Ellen, Henry, and Julia begin to intertwine in ways that defy time itself. Brian's rise as a reluctant warrior mirrors Henry's descent into madness and courage. Both men are fighting wars they never wanted, one in the name of Scotland, the other in the name of love. And somewhere between them, Julia and Ellen stand as symbols of resilience, love, and sacrifice, women bound by the same destiny, centuries apart. But here's the twist no one sees coming. The same stones that separated them may soon demand something far greater, a sacrifice that could destroy one world to save another. The war is coming, not just across clans, but across time. And this time, no one will walk away untouched. The drums of war are echoing across Scotland, and every heartbeat seems to thrum with dread. Season 2 of Blood of My Blood plunges us into the storm that history tried to bury, the Jacobite rebellion of 1715. But this isn't just a tale of kings and clans. This is about the people who bleed in the spaces between history, the Frasers, the Grants, and those who will one day give rise to the Outlander legacy itself. Brian Fraser stands at the crossroads of destiny. Once a man of quiet honor, he now carries the weight of a murder's guilt and a husband's love. His decision to join the rebellion isn't about glory, it's about redemption. He believes that if he can fight for something greater than himself, perhaps his sins can be washed away by the blood of war. But war is never merciful. Every victory comes with a wound, and every wound leaves a scar that time can't erase. At his side, Ellen refuses to fade into the shadows. The woman who once hid behind her family's rules is now a force of her own. She rides with messages, tends to the wounded, and commands loyalty from men who never thought they'd follow a woman. Yet even her strength can't shield her from what's coming. As the clans gather under the banners of rebellion, betrayal seeps into the air like poison. Rumors spread that not every Fraser is loyal, and when a spy within their ranks is discovered, all eyes turn toward Brian. The weight of suspicion crushes him. Men he trusted begin to doubt him. The same clans he fights beside whisper that he's cursed, that every step he takes brings death closer. But Ellen believes in him. She always has. Still, belief is a fragile shield against the brutality of war. When Brian is ordered to march toward Sheriffmuir, Ellen's heart knows the truth. Not everyone who goes there will return. And as the Highland mist rises, so too does the shadow of fate. Meanwhile, in another century, Julia struggles to survive in a world that's not her own. Life in the 1700s is unforgiving, and every day without Henry feels like a blade twisting in her heart. She hides her pain behind strength, but her eyes betray her sorrow. Claire tries to comfort her, but even she knows love that crosses time never ends quietly. The echoes of what they've lost ripple through every moment. Still, Julia is determined. She spends her nights studying ancient symbols, tracing stories of those who vanished and returned. And one night, she finds something that changes everything. A record, hidden deep in a Scottish parish, mentioning a mysterious soldier named Henry Beecham. The impossible hope sparks inside her. Could he still be alive, lost in time but fighting to find his way back? Claire knows better than to dismiss such miracles. After all, she's lived them herself. Together, they plan something bold, to return through the stones once more. But the stones never give without taking. The risk is unbearable, yet Julia doesn't hesitate. Love, for her, is worth crossing centuries for. Back in the rebellion, Henry is indeed alive, but barely. Wounded and half-mad, he finds himself among the Highland ranks. He doesn't know where he is, only that the chaos around him feels too familiar. Gunfire, screams, smoke. It's the war all over again, just in a different century. The trauma that once consumed him now becomes his only weapon for survival. He fights with the desperation of a man who has nothing left to lose. Then fate intervenes in a cruel twist. Henry crosses paths with Brian Fraser himself. Neither knows who the other is, not yet, but something unexplainable passes between them, as if time itself pauses to take a breath. Their bond, separated by blood and generations, begins to awaken. Henry sees in Brian the reflection of a man he can't quite remember, and Brian feels an eerie familiarity in Henry's voice, his manner, his pain. It's as if the past and future are calling out to each other, unaware that they're bound by blood. As the rebellion pushes toward its tragic climax, Brian becomes haunted by visions, flashes of light, whispers of names he's never heard, and the faint cry of a child. He tries to dismiss it as exhaustion, but deep down, he feels the truth clawing at him. Something or someone is trying to reach through time. Ellen senses it too. Every time the wind howls through the valley, she swears she hears Julia's voice echoing her own. Time is thinning. The boundaries that once kept their worlds apart are beginning to crack. And as the Battle of Sheriffmuir draws near, the truth behind the Fraser bloodline begins to surface. Love, war, and destiny are about to collide, and this time, not everyone will survive the impact. The smoke of Sheriffmuir lingers in the air like a curse. The battlefield is silent now, but the silence is deceiving. It hides the agony, the heartbreak, and the ghosts left behind. Season 2 of Blood of My Blood reaches its breaking point here. The rebellion may have failed, but its true story is only beginning. What the world calls defeat, the Frasers will remember as destiny. Because amid the ashes of war, something impossible is about to happen. The past and future are about to collide. Brian lies wounded, his tartan torn, his hand stained with blood that isn't just his enemy's, it's his own. Around him, the Highlanders are retreating, the banners of the Stuarts falling one by one. He should feel despair, but instead there's a strange calm, as if the universe itself has gone quiet to listen. Through the haze, he sees a figure approaching. Not Ellen, not an enemy, but Henry, the man from nowhere, the man who shouldn't exist. Their eyes meet and time shatters. In that single moment, centuries collapse. Brian sees flashes, strange metal machines roaring like demons, a world of smoke and glass, a woman who looks like Ellen but isn't her, holding a child that feels like his own blood. Henry stumbles forward, his mind splitting between two lives, two wars, two loves. He recognizes Brian, not by face but by feeling. It's the same bond that pulled him through the stones, the same echo that has haunted his dreams. Two men from different eras, bound by one bloodline, standing on the edge of history. Ellen finds them moments later. She's terrified, not of death, but of what she's witnessing. The air around them hums with power. The ground seems to pulse, as if the stones themselves are awake. The ancient magic that has always guided the Frasers through time is now unleashed. It's raw, uncontrollable, and desperate. And at its center are Brian and Henry, the beginning and the end of the same family line. At Craigna Dun, in the present, the same energy crackles through the air. Claire and Julia reach the stones, clutching William as the ground trembles beneath them. The sky darkens and a low hum builds, the same sound Claire once heard all those years ago when she first crossed over. Julia feels it in her chest, her bones, her blood. Time is calling again. She knows Henry is still alive. She can feel it like a heartbeat that doesn't belong to her. Claire warns her that the stones are unpredictable, that crossing now could destroy the link forever. But Julia doesn't hesitate. She's come too far to turn back. As she steps forward, the storm between the centuries begins to merge. At Sheriffmuir, the air explodes with light. Brian shields Ellen, but the energy pulls at him, tugging him towards something unseen. Henry screams as he feels himself being dragged the other way. The universe is folding in on itself, and for one terrifying instant, both worlds exist at once. The past and present blur, muskets echo against the sound of thunder. Tartan soldiers vanish into flashes of lightning, and the stones at Craigna Dun glow brighter than ever before. And then silence. When the light fades, Ellen is alone on the battlefield. No Brian, no Henry, just the soft, eerie stillness of the aftermath. She clutches the pendant around her neck, the one Brian gave her when they swore their blood oath. A faint warmth remains, as if he's still with her somehow. Across time, Julia awakens on the same ground, surrounded by mist. The stones are silent again, but something has changed. She looks around, and there, lying beside her, is a sword. Brian's sword, the same one he carried into battle 300 years ago. Claire finds her moments later, shaken but alive. The look on Julia's face says it all. She's seen something that can't be explained. Maybe she touched him, maybe she saw him, or maybe their souls brushed against each other for the briefest moment before time sealed itself again. But there's more. When Julia lifts William, the child's tiny hand is gripping something. It's a piece of tartan, old, frayed, and unmistakably Fraser. The past isn't gone. It's watching, waiting. Season 2 will end not with closure, but with a question that shakes the very core of the Outlander universe. If time can bend for loved ones, what's to stop it from doing so again? The line between past and present is no longer clear, and somewhere in the fold of time, Brian Fraser still walks, carrying the legacy that will one day bring Claire and Jamie together. The blood of the Frasers runs through every century. It's love that binds them, war that tests them, and destiny that refuses to let them go.